About 5 or so, my mother shot my dad in front of me during a domestic violence event where my dad was all high on drugs, shaking her down for cash. She was a bartender at the time. And, that just kind of propelled my life.
Yeah. Welcome to the Ill Estate Podcast, where we keep it real with the realest.
What's up, guys? Welcome back to another episode of Ill Estate. Got a special guest today. I would go ahead and present him and start talking about him, but honestly, this guy's a beast. For the people that haven't heard from you, that don't know who you are, can you give us a brief just about what you do, what it is that you're about,
Sure.
The whole message?
100%. So, Clinton Dye here. I own Crispy Media. I'm here in sunny San Diego, California, and I own a marketing agency that focuses on getting small businesses and service-based businesses in Southern California recognition and leads directly from Instagram and Facebook. So in 2025 and going forward, if you don't have a social media presence, you're missing out on massive opportunities. And it's really not about what you're doing on what platform. It's that there's very little competition doing it right. And we focus on doing everything real so we can help businesses of all types start to generate real revenue through social media.
Now, it's funny you mentioned that. We talk a lot about that in real estate, and it's one of the number one things that I feel is like what changed during COVID. There was a lot of new agents that came on board, and they really took off their business because it was a younger generation. They were already doing the dancing videos on TikTok, and they just changed it up and did something better, right?
Yeah.
Now, for you, Clinton, my question is, what is the platform that best serves people if they own a business? Which one should they start with? Should they use all of them? Should they focus on one?
Sure.
What do you recommend?
So if a business owner wants to start generating direct sales from a platform, Instagram is clearly the best platform to start with because you can message a stranger without following them. So where we see differences across the different platforms, including TikTok and Facebook, is the user behaviors are very different, so the content behaviors is very different. What you're doing on Instagram will usually flow upwards into TikTok and Facebook versus the very transactional nature of Facebook, which is I have a problem, click my link or book a call to solve it. That doesn't go downwards into Instagram because Instagram is very social. So when it comes to sales direct on platform, nothing competes with Instagram.
Got it. And what about YouTube? I seen you're big on YouTube, man. And I heard before we started on the podcast, you were talking to me about your YouTube channel. Do you believe that everybody who owns a business should have a YouTube channel?
100%. So a lot of people online are very scared to get in front of a camera and speak long form, which is the YouTube platform. However, when it comes to convincing someone that you do great business, nothing can compete with the conversion rates of YouTube, is because just like a good conversation where I want someone to spend money on anything, it doesn't matter about a water bottle or buying a home or an exotic car or even getting your plumbing fixed regularly. When you're doing something on YouTube, people are going to sit down for hours at a time, minutes at a time, and start binging your content, and they're going to start to connect. Long form storytelling like YouTube and just an interview style like this, the audience can clearly connect with certain points that you're discussing that they relate to. So for me being in San Diego, if anybody in San Diego sees this, they're like, oh, it's one of our guys. They'll connect. And then when they learn, oh, I was in the military, I'm a Marine veteran, they'll connect. I have a family and dogs and a house and all these things. You'll start to have little connection points. That's really difficult to do on short form. Can be done, but it has to be done very gracefully versus YouTube. Someone's going to sit down and watch your content about, I don't know, how a first-time home buyer, what are their biggest challenges to close their first home, and not spend a ton of money. If you can solve that for them, once they start to see that over and over again, well, you're their guy. And then they're going to see you at a restaurant when they're out and about. They'll be like, my man, I saw your YouTube channel. I love what you do. Hey, let me give you my number because I think we're going to be selling a house or renting it out. Maybe you can help me. And then that's where businesses start to change, is when people around them, the organic connections, first that seed is planted on social media. We call it connect first, then redirect into business. So you connect first, then you redirect into business later. You got to form a friendship first. I think. Instead of just saying, just buy my thing here, click the link, that's played out.
Now, guys, I'm not going to sit here and bore you with everything that comes about marketing, because I know what you're probably thinking. I'm not going to sit here and watch 30 minutes of just how to do marketing, right? What I am going to do, though, is I want to get into and dig deeper into Clinton, what he does, how he started his business, and what it is, right?
Yeah, hit it.
So take me all the way back, man. Before the tattoos, before everything, or were you born already and these were there, or what happened, bro?
Yeah, man, my mom pushed me out of the womb, and the out popped
Blasted out already?
Just covered, man. No, where I started is a young kid, like a journey, like most people. It doesn't start out very nicely. So I had two parents. Both my parents were out of Southern California, hippies, and lots of drugs, lots of violence, alcohol use. At about 5 or so, my mother shot my dad in front of me during a domestic violence event where my dad was all high on drugs, shaking her down for cash. She was a bartender at the time. And, that just kind of propelled my life. Of course, there was a separation after that. Dad almost died and survived.
Wait. He's going on crazy fast on this. Hold on. He made it seem like if it was nothing. If that's not trauma, that's some real trauma. Hold on. My boy right here, he is really well off. And this is somebody who says, I didn't have an easy life. I hear that all the time. My boy just talked about his mom shot his dad, and he's moving on like if it's nothing. So wait, before we move on, bro.
Okay.
You were 5 years old. Where were you guys living?
So I was living in Houston, Texas. My family's relocated out of Southern California to Houston. My dad was a plumber. He worked on like commercial buildings and their pipes. And I grew up like typical, very low income family with alcoholics and drug users.
And you guys were living in Houston, right?
Houston, yeah, basically.
Mobile
like
home park, or were you guys?
At this time, it was an apartment.
Okay.
Yeah, single bedroom apartment.
And then Dad came home and he was like, "Hey man, I need to get high. I need some more money."
That's right. He was shaking her. He was shaking her down. So Dad comes in the door. Obviously, he's on one. He's shaking her down, trying to go get a fix. And she had cash on hand, tips and things like that.
Right.
And he takes her in the back room. They start going at it. You can hear him struggling, slapping around. I come out in my underoos, basically, and she just reaches in the dresser drawer with an old snub nose 38.
Okay.
Just pulls it out and caps the dude right in the chest.
Oh man.
Yeah. In through the lung, out the back. He stumbles up against the wall like a movie. He shot me. He looks me directly in the eye. I can see him, and kind of he's going flush, and he basically just stumbles out the house. And that's where my childhood was.
That's where like it just.
That's where things start. Now, we talk about trauma. A lot of people talk about trauma. I think they misdiagnose trauma. Trauma is really, where is your stress levels and what have you normalized? So a child playing soccer in a combat zone in Iraq, Afghanistan, somewhere, they see death all over. They're smiling, kicking the ball, and there's bloated dead bodies and dogs running around with arms in their mouth and shit. It doesn't matter. They have normalized trauma.
Yeah.
Seeing anything can be traumatic if your stress level isn't high enough to handle it. Right. Stubbing my toe could be massively traumatic and ruin my entire day. Yeah. Versus growing up like that, it feeds into my success and survivability later in life. So that's where it started.
And then after that, I'm guessing Dad's out the picture. It's just Mom. Yeah. Where you go to school?
Houston, I don't even remember the name of the school. So my mom worked nights as a bartender. Yeah. She worked in some fast food spots. She would come home late at night. So from 5 to 7, I lived with her solely, and she was really struggling to make ends meet. Like welfare, no power on in the house in the winter. No limited food, no ability to get medicine. I remember being sick a few times, but regardless, she struggled. Different men in and out of the house at different times, and these were just anybody she'd meet from the bar. Yeah. So you know the type. It'd be like Vietnam veterans, drug dealers, just people that go to the bottle to entertain themselves, and it wasn't a pleasant time.
So then, once you get to high school, did you start working, or what you do?
Yeah. So over the years, Dad gets it together, stops drinking alcohol, no more drug use. He's sober. I go to live with Dad in Austin, Texas, and I start getting into sports. Okay. So single dad, eventually gets married, the whole life. But I start getting into sports in Texas. Okay. And
what'd you play?
I played middle linebacker, middle linebacker. And you don't know anything about Texas football from basically elementary school, middle school, you start playing football, and it's serious.
Yeah.
They are prepping people for college and the NFL at whippersnapper. Like you barely their helmet's bigger than their whole body, and they're like knocking out people, and they're serious about it. So it's 2-a-days. It's a nutritionist. It's a weightlifting coaches, people that played D1, people that played professional, all kinds of levels of instruction. But sports taught me teamwork. It taught me you could fail and do just about everything right. It also taught me how to be a good loser. It also taught me how to be very aggressive and focus on the things that your opponents aren't willing to do to get ahead. So sports taught me a lot and prepared me for my time in the Marine Corps.
So then when did you join the Marines? Right out of high school?
Yeah, at 19 years old, I was doing some things I probably shouldn't have done, allegedly, as a young man, and I was posed with kind of a question by my attorney at the time, and the district attorney, is, would you like to do 67 to 97 months mandatory in federal prison, or I highly suggest you enlist in the Marine Corps in the next few weeks?
So 5 to 8 years, or join the Marines?
That's right.
And that's at 17 or 18?
That was at 19 years old. And there was no guarantee. This was essentially a gentleman's agreement between a district attorney and my attorney. They were close friends.
Yeah.
And the district attorney just happened to be a prior Marine JAG officer. I think at the time, I had really limited options.
Yeah.
But I come from a family with no military experience. My
so was
parents
it
were
a quick
hippies.
choice that you're like, oh, I'm going to the Marines? Or were you still debating it? What was going through your head?
No, it's a quick choice. Quick choice. I don't make any, so myself as a person, I don't make any choices slowly. If I'm going to get on an airplane and jump out and skydive, it's not something I think about for weeks.
Yeah.
It's something I'd be like, oh, skydive, that sounds fun. Let's do it. And then I just book a thing. Like, I'll call my chick, hey, can you find me a skydive place here in San Diego? I want to do it.
Yeah.
And then I'll just go do it. Like, there's no hesitation. I'm not going to like pansy out, go up to the door and not jump. It's like, we're going to do it. I'll crap my pants on the way down.
Yeah.
And like, we'll figure it out. Because I've seen too often people are slow to make a decision.
Yeah, they overthink.
They want to buy that car. They want to go approach their dream girl. They want to get married. It doesn't matter. Pick the topic. Procrastination doesn't result in success. Yeah. If you procrastinate, it slows your timeline to finishing. And life isn't really about how great you're going to look when you do get there. It's about making mistakes, picking yourself up, learning from it, and applying future. The faster you can do micro mistakes and learn, the faster you're going to get to wherever you want to go.
Now, you go to the Marines, and where does all this new Clinton come, right? Because this is a new Clinton. This isn't Clinton from when he grew up in Houston. This is like Clinton 2.0.
No, so what's kind of, this is really just a mature version of the same person.
Okay.
So same person that's going to do 2 days in sports as a young person in the heat, in Texas heat in the summer, drink and eat on schedule is the same person that's going to go into the Marines and learn how to separate from the herd and master the system. In any environment, it's a system. It doesn't matter. There's a way to move forward successfully, and there's a way to stay the same, and there's a way to regress. So I inherently, in my personality, observe the systems. And then what is it that I need to do to rise to the top of that system and at least get ahead? Maybe not be the number one, but be a competitor that gives them a run for the money, right? Just like in football, you're either going to be a champion or you're not. I'm not going to be a Heisman Trophy D1 athlete. I just don't have it in me. But that doesn't mean somewhere along the way I gave them a run for their money.
You're going to stop the other one.
Gave them a run for their money, right?
Yeah.
So like whatever I do, I observe the system. In the Marines, it's a system. It's confined by rules and it's operated by people.
So how long were you in the Marines for?
9 years.
And what tour were you on?
I did 4 tours in combat, both invasions in Iraq and Afghanistan, follow-on tours in those environments, and then 13 years as a defense contractor for Northrop Grumman, the top 5, like SAIC, Northrop Grumman, Boeing.
So then you were in there like when it was really on.
Well, yeah, I don't know about really on. I think anybody can have a bad day and catch a rocket.
Yeah.
It doesn't really matter. So if you served or you were over there, it could be pretty horrible. But yeah, we were in the Marine Corps. We invaded Iraq. That was the highest tempo invasion or support I ever had in my whole time.
And how old were you when you went to Iraq?
Iraq was 2003, so I'd have been I would have been 23, 24, 20 in that zone. So spring.
Okay.
So spring, March 2003 is when we invaded. So I'd have been pretty young, 23, 24. And going in those countries, I'm a weapons controller, so I control all the air engagements from air to ground, clearing the routes for the Marine Corps in the entire AO. So there's myself and probably one other person in AO doing in the area of operations doing it, and I probably have 20 aircraft stacked at the peak. We're dropping bombs on humans, equipment, bridges, infrastructure, terrorists, weapons of mass suspected, weapons of mass destruction, all day, every day. I mean, it's crazy. Like, as fast as I could talk for 12, 16, 18 hours a day, radios are smoking. That's as fast as we're dropping bombs.
Now, what's your take? Were we in the right in being there, or were we not?
You know, there's a quote that comes to mind. It's a famous quote that the only way to win in a war is to avoid a war. That's it. Two opposing views resort to violence to solve a problem never really solved a problem. And when you're talking about mass engagement, where the most people that died in any combat engagement throughout all of history were innocent, right? So whatever the direct casualties are from war, the indirect casualties are multipliers there. So at this point in life, we have to do what we have to do. Our country and our way of life has its own agendas. We may not understand it, and we're going to have to do some things that history will determine whether we're right or wrong. But our way of life comes at a cost. So I would do just about anything necessary to defend this country and my family. I don't care what the rules say, realistically. If in the moment I believe this is the only way forward, I'm going to make the toughest of choices to save my family. And when I look at our country, I look at our country as my extended family. Nobody is going to come into our country without having to face people just like me, or 10 times more intent on causing harm to the opposition. And that's just where I stand in life. So if we're walking down the street and there's some shady people down here on C Street that want to cause a problem when we're leaving to go have lunch, I'm willing to die if I believe it's the only choice.
Yeah, 100%.
And that's just the kind of person I am. I am pretty selfless when it comes to the things how I view my position in the world.
Yeah.
Is I'm the wolf between the evil wolves and the sheep. And our sheep is just our people. And I know there's a lot of people out here that think they're tough, but I want you to remember this. My mom is more gangster than 95% of the gangsters online that you see.
The keyboard warriors? So then, after you come back from the Marines, what do you start working in, man?
So after I got out of the Marines, I slowly started realizing, after essentially Iraq, is that being in the Marine Corps, I was just going to be back in the Middle East. I was a very effective tool for the government. I was now training the next generation on weapons tactics, some of the things that we did. My team specifically are currently in Marine Corps doctrine. We did certain things that had never been done before, and now it is the way they fight those types of wars, with limited assets, limited tools, just a radio, maybe a smartphone nowadays, who knows, but a very interesting way to fight war in the modern battlefield, given all the technology right now. So I started going to college. I realized that I wasn't formally educated, but I was still probably one of the smartest people in the room. Our leadership in the Marine Corps is officers that have gone to college typically, they have college degrees. They go to officer candidate school, followed on by TBS in their journey into being infantry officers that eventually find some other MOS. So understanding that, I was flown around often between locations to plan next the next wars. I was the right-hand advisor to the people when they were being interviewed by anybody else about whatever it is we were doing. These were things that we learned the hard way. A theoretical drywaller that's an expert in YouTube doesn't know how to hang drywall and plaster and tape. But the person on the ground that started with, a 9-inch float and as a kid with their uncle showing them how to drywall is clearly an expert. So I was that guy. I was down in the trenches learning how to do these things, and then all my leadership started to lean on me to make decisions because they didn't have the applicable time in the seat. So our structure in the Marine Corps is, at least at the time, was senior enlisted typically held the qualifications because they were around the equipment the most and had the least amount of ancillary jobs to do. Whereas the officers are overtasked with multiple secondary jobs, like the unit supply officer, the unit legal officer. Like they had all these secondary jobs, which took them away from their primary job, versus the enlisted usually did all the technical stuff, all the operational stuff, and then we would get secondary jobs later. They was the reverse. They had 5 or 10 secondary jobs and couldn't master their primary job. So now the officers are under my control as an enlisted operationally every time. Now there's some senior officers, of course, that I would report to, but in like Afghanistan, my direct reporting officer was the CFAC. So in his delegate, so usually like a colonel or a major. So on the sat phone that I talked to, no matter where I went, the only person I talked to is the general or the general's right-hand man that controls the entire air campaign in any theater. That's pretty much unheard of.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a very uncommon situation to, I won't say win from, fall into, because I'm dealing with infantry officers on these different fobs, and they're like, who the fuck are you, dude? I was like, look, man, this is who I am. This is how I talk to him. I look, Colonel, this is who I am. I'm Staff Sergeant Dye. I work directly with the CFAC. I was like, cell phone's right here, the sat phone's right here. Like, if you have any issues, I was like, we're supposed to do this thing here, and we're not getting the support.
Yeah. And
like,
how would it go? Would they give you shit?
Oh, dude, their infantry officers are the worst.
Yeah.
Like, these are guys like, they're all tall, dark, handsome kind of guys, just like combat hardened assholes.
Yeah.
Right. And their structure doesn't work like that, where an enlisted person can basically have operational authority over officers. There's clear lineage, officer, enlisted.
There's ranks in there.
Yeah, ours was gray just due to staffing in the Marines, at least at the time. They may have fixed it now, but it doesn't matter. So a lot of issues. Yeah, so you'll show up and they like give you the runaround. Army's the worst, right? Yeah. They just have high logistical challenges to do anything. For example, I'm in a fob in a place called Salerno. If you're familiar with Afghanistan, probably not, but it's one of the fobs a few miles away from the border in eastern Afghanistan. So Salerno, Shkin, Jalibad, all these places are way over in the east against Pakistan. Yeah. Lots of nasty shit happen in the mountains there. But I fly into this location, and there's a colonel that's in charge of this FOB. It's called the fire base, but FOB Salerno, and dude just giving us the runaround. Like, yeah, we're here to do this thing. I need a SIPR connection, which is a classified connection to the internet for just the military and different services. So it's called SIPR, and I need a space and some power. That's it. I have 4 people with me, including myself. I need a little bit of power, access to the internet, and that's it, bro. That's it. And this dude just kept giving me a runaround. He's like, it's going to take 30 days for to put in a request. We need money funded from, an 06 that signs that we need all these things for you guys. And I was like, this is. So I get on the phone with my guy. He's like, who's this fucking dude? I was like, Colonel over here. So essentially, one of my guys, the secondary, had to fly in, meet this dude in the next few days, meet him in person, and then I had my red cable, my red internet connection within like 6 hours. And then that dude never spoke to me again. I mean, we're literally like going at it. I was like, why are you giving me a runaround? I was like, we don't have an 06 on site in this country at all. Yeah. I'm the motherfucker. Yeah. I was like, everybody else is sitting back somewhere else. I was like, that's it. He's like, well, it's not going to work. He's like, you're never going to get access to anything. Yeah. I was like, okay. Sure.
Watch this.
Watch me work. And he's literally like going at me like spit, leaving the face, and I'm not bending because I don't give a fuck, dude. Like, I don't give a fuck who you are. Like, dude,
Yeah.
make the move, bro.
Yeah.
I don't care. Like, really, like swing on it if it's that important. So I call the CFAC floor on the sat phone. Why this dude's spitting at me? I was like, sure, no problem, man. Hold on. I was like, yeah.
Did it ever get to that point anywhere in the military for you?
All the time in the Marines, man.
Yeah.
Yeah. This was 1999 to 2008. Hazing is like a real thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, but our hazing is a little bit different. They're not making you walk around in like a baby diaper and like, shaving your head. What they'll do is they'll stick you in a closet when you make mistakes. They'll give you a choice. Do you want to have your senior, your NCOs, your non-commissioned officers, basically tune you up physically, like actually brawl, or do you want paperwork? Paperwork ruins your career. Yeah. Even something as being late by 30 seconds could ruin your entire career.
Right.
Or do you want your NCOs to basically jump you?
Yeah, they're going to check you real quick. Yeah.
And tune you up. So everybody chooses the tune up.
Yeah.
Everybody. That's just the nature of how they handle business. Now, I'm not saying that's right. I don't know if they do.
You had a choice, though, right?
You have a choice. And do you want to be late for 5 minutes as a young man and hold paperwork over your career, and your career essentially be derailed from an innocent mistake, or do you want to man up and like go in there and take it on?
And how long would it be for?
Until you give up. Which isn't hard. You got 3, dude. They got the numbers, bro. You're not making it.
Yeah.
They just rush you. Or they'll just fuck with you, and it'd be the little dude will get you winded. The middle dude will start to make you feel it, and then the boss, the badass guy will just come in and like,
just
as you're like twitching and like like getting choked out or whatever it is. It's all just training, right?
Yeah.
They're just gonna have a seat and just sit over you, like.
Yeah.
I know you've been thinking about this right now. The next time you're gonna be fucking late, text a motherfucker like I told you to do. You understand? Or do you need to be reinforced a little bit? And they'll just they're like I can't hear you, and they're just tough, you know.
Yeah.
And then they'll tap them out.
But it worked.
No, it worked. It's highly effective. So you have to understand the type of people. For the regular people in the world that are thinking that everything that exists in humanity is just, hey man, could next time, Timmy, can you be here on time because we have a schedule that we're sticking to? That shit doesn't work when you're dealing with people that are trained to kill other humans. Yeah. These are aggressive, often very dominant personalities, and dominant personalities don't fear anything other than the threat of violence. That's why we have the military. It's the threat of violence that ends lives. That's what it's for.
Yeah.
So dealing with those types of personalities, oftentimes, that calm can't. If troops come into me, I'm the calm deliverer. I'm the messenger of a very calm deliverable when I have infractions like this as their leader, because I'm not a yell at you. Yeah. I'm not a threaten you. We have a conversation like this.
Yeah, you strike me as the type that smiles while you're like,
your life is at risk, and we're having a real conversation, John. Second, PFC Schmiegel here.
Yeah.
My man, look, here's the deal. Did you call your leadership? No. Something bad could have happened to where I have to answer to people far larger than me about your death.
Right.
This is what I need from you. Call your people. When you call your people, they'll get you back. Trust in the process. Don't show up in here like no one's going to fucking notice. We're all standing here waiting for you. I've been waiting for you for the last 2 hours before you even decided to wake up in the morning. Right. I'm ready to go. There's a reason why we do this. So you have a choice. Go see your sergeant and see what kind of choices you're going to make. All you had to do to prevent all this is send a message.
Yeah.
Peace. Boom, out. And then they go see their people, and they go get their process.
So you guys see Clinton here. He's all blasted up, tatted up. Before we started this podcast, it's kind of funny. He started telling me he actually got tatted up, got him lasered off, and then got the tattoos again.
Yeah.
Did you redo any of them the same, or did he switch up the whole thing?
All new. So Look, you're gonna see me and you think like, did this guy go to prison? Was he from the streets? Is he about it? No, in the Marine Corps, one of my first leaders was a recon Marine, Sergeant McClendon. And he was one of those guys. Jacked, ripped, stupid good looking, the best at everything, right? He was one of those guys, but he had tattoos. And as a kid, before I was going to the Marine Corps, probably like the summer before I was going to the Marine Corps, I was training at a place called Gold's Gym. I don't know if you guys know what that is. But my teacher, Miss Ambrose, I had like a micro crush on this blonde teacher, and she was young. She came to us as like a student teacher, so she was like 20.
When he says micro, he was like, hey, it's...
No. It was a micro. I was respectful, but she was like blonde hair, blue eyes, good looking, right? And my teacher, right? And nothing crazy happened. Like,
she looked like
any
the
of those
girl from
weirdos.
Baywatch.
Like the girl from Baywatch, but next door, right? She was super sweet girl and a big fan of my journey in life, but she was nice. But I ran into her, basically like my micro high school kind of like crush, and I wasn't really that like into like girls in high school, like or teachers or anything. I was just kind of a kid, just doing life. I wasn't ready for any of that. But I ran into her. You know what her boyfriend was? A recon Marine, and I didn't know it. And he was blasted, covered in tattoos, like all the Marine shit, covered from head to toe. And I remember seeing him, and I became workout partners with him. So I was learning from him, like training, nutrition, different things at like his level. And he's this typical guy, he's like ripped, probably doing a little bit of gear before gear was normal. And gear's like TRT for all those people, testosterone replacement. So he was a fairly good shape. I mean, he's looking like kind of like Van Damme.
Yeah.
Right, but covered in tattoos, completely like tan.
Yeah.
Like he just was it, and I was like, I was kind of like looking up to this guy as a kid and like, what's going on? So when I got into the Marine Corps, no tattoos were allowed exposed. It was against the rules, resulting in actual chargeable offenses for dereliction of duty and misappropriation of like government I don't know, whatever they're charging you with doesn't matter. Is that any tattoos exposed while you're in the Marine Corps, like neck, head, arms, anything below the shorts, those were chargeable offenses. So almost no tattoos. You could get away with a little bit, but at certain points it limited your career. Like you couldn't apply for officer candidates school with tattoos. You couldn't be meritoriously promoted. Those will be the things that will hold you back. Like,
and that's crazy because it's not that long ago that changed.
No, it changed like during a guy by the name of General Krulak. So when I was a kid, the silent drill team had a piece by 60 Minutes about hazing. So these guys are like standing in like buckets of feces in their underwear and like no sleep. They're drunk, like really drunk, like fraternity style hazing stuff. And they filmed it. Idiots, right? They filmed it, and those videos were released to the public. This is probably the highlight of discipline and like execution with the weapon, the silent drill team. Look them up. And that guy, General Krulak, came in to clean up the Marine Corps. So they completely rebranded the Marine Corps shortly after that from basically a group of degenerates that like violence, fighting, drinking, and tattoos, and going off to war and causing problems in faraway lands, to basically a professional institute. So the drinking things were punitive issues around drinking were severe. Tattoos went away. Anything violent out in the public, domestic violence in the house, any of those things were high offenses in the Marine Corps. And the punishments were swift, violent, and rapid, but with maybe even very minimal evidence. So they just didn't want the negative imagery involved with the Marine Corps, and basically a bunch of young men, led by young men, and drinking's their pastime.
Got it.
So it changed.
So once you get out the military, right? I know we go in deep on that, guys, and I'm sorry, but it's good stuff. You got to admit it's good stuff. Stuff that nobody really ever talks about.
Yeah.
But I want to get into the part where Clinton becomes entrepreneur Clinton. Comes back, you said you started going to school again.
Yep.
How old were you when you started going back to school?
I realized I needed to go to college because I didn't want to be in the Marines for 20 years. Right around 20, I think it was, I read something like between 30 and 40 tactical books. So while I was overseas, there's no internet. There's training, and like a lot of war, you surge. So you have these moments of like unparalleled lack of sleep, violence, and just poor life quality. There's no internet. Can't pick up the phone, call mom. Can't call your brother or sister. There's no internet connection. This is before smartphones. So you can't like text anybody. I don't even know if Facebook was around then. It doesn't matter. You couldn't do shit. There was nothing else other than maybe go do some calisthenics prison style in the middle of fucking Iraq, or work. That's it. Go for a quick run to keep your body up. Do some pull-ups, some muscle-ups, some burpees, some shit like that. Making, curl bar out of tent poles and sandbags. That's what we did. So there's nothing to fucking do. So I read like 30 to 50 books. I realized at war in Afghanistan that I didn't understand my enemy. So now one of my guys, the Forced Recon Marine I talked about, Sergeant McClendon, one of my first leaders, he didn't go off into war with us. He went off into something else, like recruiting or something different. He never went back to combat zone after that. But I remember picking up the phone and calling that dude and like, dude, how did you get through this? Like, what the fuck? Like, this is bad. I mean, people are dying every fucking day. It's crazy. Yeah. Like, people dying on the radio when you're on the radio, like getting blasted, like right there. And it's like, dude, how do you get through this? He's like, here's the deal. He's like, you have to understand the enemy and learn to let go. He's like, you need to know the enemy and how they think more than they understand how they think, because that's how you exploit them. It's not with hate. It's with love and understanding the why behind what they do. The moment you do that, you learn to detach. Combat becomes just a system. And I spent I read every book that I possibly could on my enemy, every book that I can get my hands on tactics. I run Sun Tzu, The Art of War, 3-4 times, the Bible 3-4 times. And I just started consuming knowledge on what my ancestors, humanity, these tacticians, these warriors, poets and philosophers, like how they were thinking and viewing the world, and kind of giving me some answers into why we're doing this to each other. And in that process of learning in combat, I realized, one, is I don't have the title, but I'm not a dummy. I'm just as smart as the highest ranking officer in every room. They're just more educated. They aren't more intelligent than me. And I just started to shift where I saw myself as a lot more than anybody ever saw me. I realized that none of us are different. We're all smart enough to be a doctor, be an attorney. We're just not willing to suffer long enough to achieve it. So then I started just consuming knowledge obsessively and applying it in my life. So all these books I applied to understanding my enemy, so I never really hated my enemy. I learned to actually love them. I understood that they were doing the things that they needed to do to defend their way of life, their country, good, bad, or ugly. To them it was right, and we were evil. And the reverse, we were doing what we thought to be right, good, bad, or ugly, and the environment itself was just evil itself. So warfare is a mechanism of evil. And I learned in the Bible that God had their warriors as well. And that's how I kind of linked this, is I was willing to damn my soul to protect our country and just continue down that path. So education was a big part of my life. I'm the first person in my life, in my family, to go off in the Marine Corps, first person in my family to hold a doctorate level education, first person in my family to have like an 800 credit score. Like, it's just like first over and over again, because when I do leave this world today, tomorrow, everybody in my family will just say this one thing: that guy set the bar really high for us. And that's it. It could be done. It doesn't matter.
You feel like that's the legacy you leave?
That's the legacy I will leave for my family, is that no matter where you come from, no matter where you come from, the gender you have, your economic standing, your education, if you put your mind to it and you want it, you will be able to achieve it. So I moved from poverty, low class, welfare, trailer park kid, single mom, all the way to owning homes in San Diego, to a 7-figure entrepreneur. And I did that not because I'm smarter than anybody else. I did that purely because I was able to sacrifice every single thing to take myself from lower class income wise to upper class income in one lifetime. So I worked 3 times as hard.
Now, guys, every time that I bring usually somebody on the podcast and I bring somebody who has a similar story, right? And when I say similar, everybody's is different. A lot of the people that I've met that are very successful entrepreneurs have something they went through in life, right? I've never met an entrepreneur till this day that I've met that didn't start from the bottom, right? Most of the ones that I talk to all the time that really have a successful business came from the bottom. They came from the very bottom. I've never spoken to somebody, I myself, I'm not saying there doesn't exist, there is plenty out there. But most of the entrepreneurs that I talk to are people that went through something. And they also have this side to them where they're kind of crazy. And when I say kind of crazy, is they're not scared of anything, right? And they probably have some fears of certain things, but you have to be a little bit crazy to be a successful entrepreneur. And the reason I say that is just what he was mentioning earlier, where you don't really overthink it. You just say, fuck it, I'm gonna go and I'll figure it out. You can't have that fear as an entrepreneur, because if you start thinking all the what ifs, what if this happens, what if that happens, then you're never gonna make a move. You're gonna stay still, right? You're gonna freeze up. That's what you're gonna do. So, Clinton, I wanna wrap this up in a way that we give them back some value.
Sure.
If you were talking to an entrepreneur today, you were talking to the old you, what would be the 5 things you would tell them they need to focus on in order to really succeed and make it?
Okay. Number 1, remove everything in your life that isn't contributing to you getting to where you want to go. Drugs, alcohol, spirituality, women, men, doesn't matter. Whatever you're into, the thing that takes your time away from mastery of the business, remove it immediately. So if it's that girlfriend that wants all your attention from 6 to 11 at night, I'm sorry, she needs to understand is that at least 6 days out of the week, that ain't her time slot no more, right? Come see me on my terms, because volume of work is what will result in your success and you changing your life. Number 2 is don't be afraid to fail. I failed a lot. I failed at this age, right? I've taken my operational count down to 0 multiple times, negative multiple times, big numbers, is because that's what it takes. So don't be afraid of failure. There's this quote that says, fear tells you what if. What if I fail? Faith tells you, even if I fail, I'll do X. So have faith. Number 3, I don't know what number we're on, is get around people that have done the thing that you want achieved. So you can self-educate, and there's nothing wrong with self-educating. My YouTube channel is all about giving back value to the old me for free that can't afford services from experts out in the world or people that are doing the thing. So if you're a drywaller, well, and your business is struggling, you're making 10. It would be very smart to find a drywaller that figured out how to go from 30 a month. Get around them, pay for their time, and then get them to teach you what you're missing. Now, I didn't say take a risk and buy some type of a scam course or something like that. Do your homework, but find someone that you can connect with on the personal level that you believe has everything that you want to accomplish with solving your business problems, and then see what their time's worth. Find the top 3, see which one you can afford, and stretch yourself, because one conversation with the right type of person can be the difference between you staying at $10,000 to $30,000 a month as a drywaller, or you scaling that business, saving your body, and living a completely different life as a business owner from 30 a month. So take that risk. It'll be the best thing that you ever did. Me personally, the best risk I ever took was getting into a mastermind around someone that had mastered social media. Good, bad, or ugly, I learned some very valuable lessons on how they leverage the power of the internet to generate sales. The things I didn't like with what I learned, I don't do those things. the things that I like from these different entrepreneurs that I've learned from, I take them and apply them in my business. Not everybody has all the answers. They have personal flaws, spiritual flaws, they have business flaws. Take what you can from them and apply it to your business. So there isn't been a scenario where I didn't get value out of education or that mentorship or that guidance. It's that I didn't listen to everything they said. I'm not an idiot. So what worked for them doesn't universally work for everybody, but this one thing they did here. I'll tell you a quick story. So it's not so quick, but I had a couple brothers come to me and they bought a package to go spend time with a big guru you see online. I'm not going to mention the name, but they fly around on private jets and he had some event in Cancun. So two brothers.
If you guys shoot me a DM, I'll tell you who it was. No, I'm joking.
They spent, I think, and they were in like infrastructure, commodities and energy, shit like that. So they're kind of paid. They lost a bunch of money, but they were building themselves back. So they paid this dude, and essentially every component of what the guy promised, they didn't get. They got the flight on the private jet, a buddy workout with their guru or whatever, but nothing was answered. None of their answers were given that they were promised. And when they came to me, they wanted to do their marketing and kind of do it the right way. I said, hey, look, dude. I was like, you didn't waste your money. I was like, the only thing you need to learn from that man is how the fuck he convinced you two idiots to spend $4 to go hang out. That's the one thing you need to learn from him. So sales. How did his brand convince you to spend to go hang out with him, and then they could not deliver on pretty much everything on the list, and you still be okay with it? That's the only thing that man can teach you. Now, you call that a scam. I call that mastery of sales, right? How did he convince you? That's the one skill you can learn from him. No CRM is going to make you a lot of money. No magical advertising strategy is going to make you a lot of money. No, you have to take these things and apply them and then force them to work in your situation.
They're all tools.
They're all
just
tools. Nobody gets to be rich.
You're still the magic. You have to do the work.
You're the man when it comes to making your future change, not a missing CRM that Ignite is going to sell you or any of these other massive brands. You can build out the juiciest customer relations management tool, CRM, for which is still only double of what you paid your guru to basically give you fucking a buddy workout. Like, shut the like, no. And then lastly is you have to have belief that you're willing to suffer through the pain of failure in life. Are you going to survive? Most people fear will talk them out of doing a lot of things. It's going to hurt. You're going to lose relationships. No one's going to understand you. You're going to have friends, family. Aren't you a bit old to be getting on camera? What do you think you are? Some type of an influencer? They're going to tell you these things not because they don't want what's best for you. No, just the exact opposite. They don't want to see the pain in your eyes when you fail. You have to understand is that the journey's probably going to be lonely at times, and that's okay. Push forward, because if you keep evolving and as you master the fundamentals of business, marketing, sales, fulfillment, hiring and firing, all these different components of life you have to master as a business owner. Once you do, it doesn't matter the business you choose. You can give me this bottle of water. I can rebrand this, launch it here in San Diego, and start making positive money off of a water bottle. It's plastic and water inside of a bottle. It's all about understanding business. Do I know everything about product marketing? No. But I know if I so chose to get behind a water bottle branding event here or opportunity, I'm going to excel because I just won't give up. And maybe it won't be water bottle. Maybe I'll learn everything I need to learn from the water bottle, and then I'll launch a wellness drink on, Vita Water style stuff, or I don't know, man, a hemp juice. It doesn't matter. Like, it's about learning, and then where can you find it? Not every opportunity is a golden opportunity, but there's plenty of lessons so that when that door does open for you, you can walk through and apply those lessons in a new opportunity where there's no competition. And that's kind of where you see that overnight success. You'll see my life or see someone else's life online. You'll think, he's just a guy who came out of nowhere. Well, you didn't see the 2.5 decades of where life was kicking me around and I didn't give up. And now I found an opportunity where There's not a lot of competition in that zone that's going to do it my way. And now I have my fair share of attention from the internet and marketing opportunity.
Now, if somebody wants to hire you or they want to go watch more of your content, where can they find you?
Oh man, this is pretty easy. So you come back to anything that he posts, you'll see my name on there. First couple links probably in there. I'm on YouTube. I'm on Instagram, San Diego _Clinton1. You find me there. Just send me a direct message right on there if you're local. You can find me on YouTube. It's a little bit harder. That's Crispy Media Marketing. That's the YouTube channel, all value. You literally step by step launch your first ads if you pay attention to the marketing stuff on there. It's pretty easy. If you want to find me, it's simple. I don't hide on there. It's just me on my social media. It's not like it's a bot or a AI or an automation. Probably your first hello might be an automation, but I see everything coming through my phone. Literally, like right now where we're sitting here, 16 minutes, a new follower.
So Clinton, you got a red phone case. Is there a red Ferrari, a red Lambo? What you drive, man?
No. I sold everything. So I went on.
You said you had exotics, right?
I had a lot of things in life, and I reached a point where I didn't want anything. So I got around individuals on life. You start. How we say this? When you're moving through life, there's certain things that you think that you will or won't like. When I got around a bunch of people and entrepreneurs where exotics were the standard and hypercars were the standard and 100 and 300 foot yachts were the standard and private jets, I realized none of that stuff helped me connect with the people I wanted to help. Two, I didn't really like any of those things. I don't really like to drive, so I have a driver drive me everywhere for the most part. Car that I'm in is just 4 wheels, so it doesn't matter if it's a hoopty or if it's a Rolls Royce. It's a vehicle to get me from A to B. Now, of course, I'll look way different from A to B, but a lot of times I don't really like the attention associated with a flashy car because you get pulled over by the cops more often. Not that I have anything to hide, but like I'm a person about schedules, so I was here 15 minutes early, and it pisses me off when I have to stop for a ticket for a cop to give me some bullshit light fucking thing or check my registration for I was going 2 miles over to see that I'm a normal, legit person covered in tattoos. It fucks them up, right? So you get harassed. I don't really like that. So I kind of adopted the old school mafia way of moving through the life is you're the kingpin and the boss and no one really knows it. You can't tell by how you look that you're the kingpin of New York because you're walking around in a suit. Well, I kind of use that with vehicles as I don't like the notoriety of being identified inside of a vehicle because it's an easy way to get exploited. There's carjackers all around Southern California, LA, everywhere. They'll follow you back to your house. They'll rob you, everything. Not that you can't find anybody, but I just don't like taking that risk. So I move I could be next to you in a vehicle and you most likely wouldn't even know. So exotics, I don't really give a fuck. It hurts me to get in and out of a sports car.
I feel that one. Yeah.
I like them. I like going fast, but I can't ride around in the Ventador. Like it hurts.
Yeah. I have a C8 and getting in and out of it.
C8's the dopest one. That's the best sports car probably for the money that exists. The C8. Did you see the redesign?
Yeah.
This shit's crazy, bro. Yeah, for under 100K.
Yeah.
You're not beating it.
Yeah, you can't. So I have the C8, the Z06. I think I got mine for like 130.
Yeah.
But I mean, I love it. I had a C7 before I got this one. And I didn't want to go with the Rari or like a Lambo or anything like that because on my C7 service was whatever.
It's bulletproof.
It's still the Chevy motor. It's still the same thing. Yeah. So you got the exotic look without having the maintenance and the BS. And my other one was my daily. So I was like, I'll just go with another Chevy. I'm okay.
Yeah. I had the C8 and pound for pound, I don't think anything beats it. And all the cars. If I had my dream car, which I really enjoy driving, probably arguably on the wrong side of the speed radars, but the funnest car to drive is the Lamborghini Aventador. Okay. It's loud, it sounds like a race car, it feels very race car-ish, and it handles really well. It's loud, obnoxious. I would like one of those. That's like dropping, vehicle like irritates my investments, my investment strategy inside my mind. But if I were to pull a trigger, it'd probably be something like that.
Now, when we talk about investments in real estate, how many doors are you at now, Clinton?
I've dumped everything. I'm down to one here in San Diego. So the reason I actually came back to San Diego is I couldn't sell a house, moved it, and then I had squatters move in. So I had squatters move in, steal everything, damage everything, water damage, the whole nine. So I just woke up one morning. I had basically like I'll say it is like a voice, man. Like, I don't know if it's the voice of God, an angel, fucking bad dream. It doesn't matter, man. It said, go to San Diego. Everything will be okay. That's the dream. And this is no bullshit. I woke up completely enlightened, like at peace, happy. Not that there's anything wrong with Miami. I love Miami and crazy. All my friends, a lot of businesses there. But I just woke up from a dream, told my chick, get on the first flight going towards San Diego with the baby. I gotta go. And I was in San Diego in 5 days. I drove 3 dogs across country because I couldn't fly them. It was like crazy amount of money, and I like to drive. I needed the time to figure out what I was going to do in Miami, absent my chick and the baby. Yeah. And she flew into San Diego into basically a trap house in North Park, and then I called the police. And my house had been raided. The homeless people were like taking over, and I was like, "Hey, dude, look, you have 5 days to get those people out of my fucking house." Yeah. I was like, I seek out violence. I don't give what the rules are. If you're coming into my house with a chick and a baby, I was like, I will view it as a hostile act and intent. I was like, you'll be getting a different call. And I was like, I will not hesitate. I was like, so it would be really wise to find an excuse to get those dudes out of my house immediately because I'm not playing. I was like, I will go there. I will tune up the first one that I can get my hands on. I said, go get all your friends. I was like, I'll be waiting right here. Go get them all and come back here. Because they can't do anything. They're just too scared in these Southern California cities to handle these basically neighborhood nuisances that are harassing the homeowners. And long story short, I flew back, she got back, so she had the contractors in there, and the house was cleaned like 4 or 5 times, like full truckloads of junk sent off to the dump, and then the contractor in there start fixing the bullshit, and there we are. In the trap house, a little tiny trap house, and I just can't let those people get ahead and like take the property from me. So I have one door. I don't like being a homeowner in general because it's just stress that I don't want. But we're probably gonna branch out from what we're doing right now and build in a couple luxury locations throughout the nation. I like home building. In general, I think the profit margins are always there to where it's really hard to lose money. I'm not a fan of flippers. I don't like the rental property game. I don't like Section 8 stuff. I don't like any of that stuff. I like to be able to see something beautiful, create it, and then exit for a payday, or it may be worst case, short-term rent something really nice and a cool, like an adventure stay. Like, I don't know, a dope-ass spot like out in the desert or the mountains or something, and rent that at Airbnb as like an experience versus like, you know, you're flying into San Diego and you need to rent a spot down in PB. Like, I don't want to do that. Like, I don't want to. So I have one door now. Eventually we'll get rid of that one and then start doing building. Okay. Yeah, that's what I like. If I were to do anything other than what I'm doing right now. Yeah, so that's a good investment long-term. Real estate, I've added value, so I use the Burr method over the years, since before it was called the Burr method. Yeah. And so that's essentially buy a property in the most expensive area you can afford, add value, that's either square footage or full remodel, get it reappraised, rent, or sell. And I've done that for years, and you know, I'll usually hold it for 1 to 3 years. So I'll live in it, I'll sell it, and then fix it and live there for essentially free, and then turn pretty large profits.
So it stands for buy, renovate, rent, and refinance. That's the Burr method. So if you're looking, you buy something that's in distress. So it's something that needs some renovations. And of course, the best way is buying the ugliest house on the best block. So then once you rehab it, you're gonna rent it out and then you refinance. And when you refinance at the higher appraised amount because you already renovated it. And with the rent, you can go ahead and showcase how much it's making every month. So it doesn't matter how much you make, it goes based on the market value of what it's renting. And then that way you can continue to do so. And there's a lot of gurus out there that are, that's what they're working on, that's what they're doing. And it's just like everything. Keeping it real, guys, we always keep it real here. It's great if you like that. If it can also be not so great if you deal with like squatters, those types of things. I had a lot of doors in Ohio, and I did the BRRRR method on all of them, and I am not going to lie and sit here in front of I sold every single door that I had out there, and now I did the BRRRR method in San Diego. For me personally, if I can't drive there, I don't want the property.
Yeah.
So then for me, I own several doors here in San Diego, but I can be there in 10, 15 minutes. So I'll know right away if I have a squatter, if I don't, and then I can just get rid of them, right?
Yeah.
So guys, if this video helped you out, go ahead, hit the like, subscribe, smash that button. Make sure you guys go ahead, drop a comment below. I want to know what your guys' take is on everything. Go give my boy a follow. Make sure you guys go follow his Instagram, his YouTube. There's so much free game on there. I went on his YouTube channel last night. There's so many videos out there. You have hours and hours and hours of content. If you have a business that you are looking to grow and scale, let's be honest, you can't do it yourself. Marketing is not your thing. Just like when they hire you because you're the expert, guess what? You need to hire an expert. Go make sure you go give my boy a follow, get in contact with them, shoot him a DM. He's there. It's a real guy. So make sure you go hit a follow, shoot him a DM, and let's get it rolling. Till next time.
Peace.